seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the ESL One Hamburg South America qualifying matches. We've got some semi-final action as Infamous Young are going to be taking on SG Esports in the first best of 3 of the day. We're going to decide who's going to be going into the finals. It's going to be happening tomorrow today, so you don't want to miss any of this Dota. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by Kefka for this first best of 3. And dude, I finally figured out the best way to become a tournament winner. When you get eliminated, you just join a team that's not eliminated.
Oh my god, what a great idea, dude.
I mean, it's flawless, right? Could you think of any problems with that?
Apparently not. I mean, I thought it would be, but I mean, if there's not, I think that's my new strategy.
Mm-hmm. You just gotta be well connected, man. You just have to be in a team, in a brand that has lots of different teams. So then when, like, say, I don't know, for example, Infamous gets eliminated, you can just join their other team, and then it'll all be okay. That's why Leo Styles here, guys, that's probably why we were so delayed. I don't know how this happened. I feel like it shouldn't have been allowed, but...
I think admins for this tournament has been quite questionable, both today and yesterday, I think.
You just gotta know whose palm to grease, man. You just gotta, do the subtle slip of the dollar bill and the handshake, and
I'm pretty sure the rules does not allow this kind of thing that happened both yesterday and today.
I don't know, man.
They are not enforced. So
let's pretend that Leo Style was always on the team and wasn't in that other game yesterday. Let's pretend that was the case, because we have ourselves a draft. Infamous Young getting one win over DCSA yesterday after DCSA were like super late, so didn't really get to see a lot of them. But SG Esports, I would say, looking at the teams that are remaining in the qualifier, expected to probably take the whole thing, so definitely the favorites here. But Rubik, Sand King versus the Bane and Clockwork. I love me some Bane. What are your thoughts on this hero, especially first pick?
I think it's pretty good, but I think already a hero like Rubik is pretty good against it, as it's pretty easy to steal the grip and also interrupt him. But I think it's overall pretty nice, depending on because it's one of the strongest, or if not the strongest, safe lane support. And he can also roam relatively good, so you can be a bit more lax in your carry choice, because he doesn't really have to have laning pressure, because your support Bane does like everything.
It's also a little bit interesting to see Clockwork as such an early pickup. Definitely in some other regions we see this hero a lot more often, but I mean, if you're looking for a 4 position in this region, it's very rarely going to be a Clockwork, and offlane kind of the same thing. So opting for it really highly. Notable heroes still in the pool. Let's see, Venomancer's banned out. AA still in, but doesn't really look like there's going to be a ton of room for that hero. It's going to be SGE. I mean, if they have a plan, then sure, pick up Clockwork first phase. We have seen 0 Enigmas so far. Well, I guess now we've seen 1. SG Esports are looking for some team fight, but is this really the team fight you want to have? The enemy team has a Rubik.
Yeah, it's really weird how they dropped it. I think already, they picked Bane against Rubik, which I think is somewhat questionable. I mean, it's not a big problem, but your Clockwork doesn't do well against Infamous Young's heroes, and then you pick an Enigma, it's already countered by Rubik, so it seems a bit weird, how they draw. But it doesn't necessarily have to matter in the game, as long as you have like a good 5-man lineup. Even if you have like opponents have like minor counter heroes, they're not like hard counters, because they're kind of soft counters, so it might not matter then.
Well, I mean, Rubik's great against Enigma, but Sand King's also pretty darn good as well. Just having AoE clearing for his for the Enigma, really nice in the early stages. And then in the later stage of the game, Sand King is very rarely going to be with his allies. He's usually going to be lagging behind a little bit because he's the Blink Dagger. So you can get into a position where you're able to, with a longer range Burrow Strike, cancel that Enigma's Black Hole if you need to. And, it's a pretty good tool. Infamous now going to go ahead and grab a Timbersaw. Again, a hero that we usually see picked up a little bit later, but up against the Enigma, Timbersaw is a pretty nice hero to have. Very difficult to lock him down. And SGE get a Monkey King. We have a core Enigma and a core Monkey King now, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm
Dire
assuming that's the
team
case.
ban.
This is going pretty fast in the draft, trying to make up for yesterday. Viper again, pretty common. It's one of the heroes that actually can start against Monkey King in lane, so that's nice. There are not a lot of those, but I think both those are
10
kind of
seconds
okay,
remaining.
and we'll see if they become good or great when we
5
round it up.
seconds
But
remaining.
SG Sports have this kind of weird Enigma, which I think was kind of forced pick, even though because they follow with a Monkey King, which I feel like that synergy is okay, I guess, but it's not great either. And Monkey King, they pick Monkey King after the opponent picked Timbersaw, who can clear trees very easily, so you can like randomly get stunned, and Timber can also escape from Monkey King ultimate. There's a lot of like questionable things, I think, but if you get some nice fifth pick heroes, it can round it out super nice for both teams, I think.
It does seem like SGE, like going into this draft, they had a plan, and they weren't going to be deterred from executing that plan. Because, I mean, you're going up against, as you said, quite a few counters, quite a few good counters from the infamous Young side, but they're just sticking to their guns. And, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate, just having a plan and really trying that out. But Monkey King, the pick, as you said, not really great matchup up against that Viper. Safe lane Monkey King pick up a different mid hero? Do you think that's decent at all for SG Esports?
I would probably prefer it that way, and it's hard to say. I think Monkey King versus Viper can work, and Monkey King can also lane against Timbersaw, I think, and I don't think there's any issues in the laning for either teams. Like, you're not gonna have like this matchup where you get completely destroyed, how it looks right now. But I think especially SD Sports have a bit more flexibility with the Monkey King, can be both mid and carry, and I mean they can do like, if they really want, they can put Clockwork off lane, Enigma jungle, even though that's like super rare nowadays. It's almost always Enigma off lane, but they have somewhat of flexibility. And Infamous Young have a little bit, but not really. Timbersaw off lane hasn't really been a thing for a very long time.
Ooh, Queen of Pain now for the infamous Young side. Another very elusive hero along with that Timbersaw. So SGE, at least their Monkey King and his ultimate isn't really going to be the easiest to use. SGE do have quite a bit of lockdown, and that is like very potent lockdown as well, but it is very clunky. Like the grip, the black hole, these are channeling spells, obviously. The nightmare isn't that great. So Infamous Young, I do think have a pretty nice selection now with this QoP last pick. SGE seems like they're really high on going for a lot of team fight. Initiation is already there with the Clockwork. Puck is already out, so overloading initiation probably not really going to happen. We'll see where they actually want to place this Monkey King, because again, they have the option of running the Monkey King in the safe lane up against Timbersaw. I'm not entirely sure how well that lane is going to work out for a Monkey King. I mean, yeah, Jingu is great, but reactive armor is pretty darn good as well. They only have 4 seconds, so how much team fight are they actually going to have? Let's see it. Pugna.
Choose your hero.
So that's a Pugna mid, MK carry, and Enigma off lane, I guess. I like Infamous Young's draft for sure a little bit more now. I feel like they have, at least when it comes to the early and laning stage, I feel like they have a bit more open and can kind of adapt as well as play it better. And SD Sport have this kind of like a weird, you kind of can push a bit, but you don't really have a pushing lineup. But do you really excel in team fights or anything like that? I don't really feel like you do. You have no split push either. So definitely SD Sports with a much weirder draft, and we're gonna see how it works in game, because I am not too certain.
It does seem like this SG Esports side has some pretty glaring weaknesses, but something we may not have mentioned is the fact that their early game is incredible. Like, the Bane is, as you said, like one of the best poking support heroes you can get, and setting up for a Clockwork once you get like level 2 on both those heroes, just trap someone in the cogs, and it's not going to work on everyone. Sand King will have some answers. The Timbersaw, Timber Chain, it's not perfect, but just that ability to roam around as one hero, as 2 heroes, and just really pressure Infamous Young, that is seemingly their best bet. And you look at their cores, like Pugna can very easily aid in those ganks. Monkey King is fantastic in doing that, as is the Enigma with the summons. So It is certainly a possibility that we see the Dire just get off to a roaring start, but at the same time, the Radiant aren't too bad at that either. We're looking at the Rubik and the Sand King combination, very old combo, but a pretty classic one at that. Just set up for stun into just right clicks in the Viper, stuff like that. So yeah, it is going to be, I would say, an infamous favorite draft, but I do think SG Esports are just better as a team. So I don't know how much weight you put on it either way to determine who's actually going to have a better time here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to call because even if one team has a much weirder draft, but they are a better team and they know the actual draft themselves, like they understand the benefit of the draft, it can be hard for the opponent because they don't really understand the draft that much. Because it doesn't have a clear purpose. It's basically, you know, Enigma has a team fight. There's no, when he gets PKB, there's nothing to stop it, unless Rubik steals it. That's like the only way. So that's the benefit of the Enigma mainly, that there's nothing to cancel when he has PKB. Pugna is pretty good against Viper though and Timber, I think. And Monkey King is okay, I guess. He's generally a good hero. Kinda is like hit or miss a lot of the time though.
We'll see if it's going to be more hits than misses, because it seems like from the infamous side, well, Sand King is going to be chilling in the trees right now, and we'll see if the Rubik, he's actually going to run out of smoke, so I don't think he could actually join the Sand King in that very sneaky level 1 stun play, but it is going to be, for right now at least, Teal the Timbersaw going down towards the bottom lane, matching up against the Enigma, as we do have a Quap off lane. Leo Styles here, and he's going to be playing the mid Viper pretty much as expected, but Quap off lane with 2 support heroes with her, it seems like that's really their best bet at making sure it's Monkey King, and by extension, these supports from SGE just aren't really that effective in lane, just by constantly aggroing them. Like, once you get hit with 1 stun on this top lane as SGE, like, you can't fight anymore. Even with Jingu lifesteal, like, you can't turn that around.
Yeah, I really like Infamous Young laning choices. I think this is something that could just win them the game, honestly. I think that SG Sport has, if they fall behind too much, it's gonna be so hard to make a comeback, especially if Enigma has our game. If Enigma doesn't get his core items, I think winning this game is gonna be super hard. Because I think he has to come out clutch in these team fights with not necessarily insane black holes, but he needs to be pretty farmed, I think, and be able to get the black holes. Just the threat of that needs to be there. Otherwise, it's a pretty easy game for Infamous Young, I think.
Yeah, like, the level that he has to play is just so much higher than what is usually expected out of Enigmas because of all the counters. Like, yeah, Black Hole's great, but Spell Steal is also pretty darn good. And lane-wise, you know, Enigma's usually going to have a decent time in lane. I would say Timbersaw is almost completely immune in this lane, simply because Enigma's lane control, his harassment comes all from his summons, and well, they instantly charge up reactive armor. So, I mean, Enigma still should be able to farm, but as far as harassing Timbersaw or harassing the enemy's safe lane, I don't really see that happening. I don't really see anyone really being able to help out in that cause either. Like, maybe Clockwork burns a little bit of Timbersaw's mana just to alleviate the aggressive power going back on the Enigma, but that's going to take quite a long time to do.
Yeah, the Timbersaw is gonna be put in a pretty good matchup. He didn't buy Mango though, so he can't get Soul Ring in the lane, which I think, I'm not gonna say it's a big mistake yet, but if I see it in lane being bad, I'm gonna call it a big mistake. So I'm a bit unsure what's happening there. But this is a pretty long pause.
The classic SA pause, man.
Yeah, I was like, when they started, you know, they keep it down like, oh, we're not gonna have a pause, that's pretty rare. And then like, oh, never mind.
There's always a pause, no exceptions.
Yeah.
There weren't that many pauses yesterday, in the beginning at least. It was a smooth start.
Yeah.
But I mean, Infamous Young, we did see them play up against DCSA yesterday. It was only 2 games because again they had extenuating circumstances. We do have the Sand King though on the Infamous Young side, and this Dominic guy on Infamous Young played a pretty sick SK. Like, his burrow strike angles were impeccable, and if he's able to replicate at all his game up against DCSA, then Infamous Young, yeah, the initiation should be pretty clean for them, and even counter initiation up against an Enigma and a Clockwork.
Yeah, I think Infamous Young has a really good like setup here. Did Benioff play off lane before? Was he the mid player before Leostyle joined, or how to call it?
I think he was safe lane. So I mean, Killrats was in the off lane, so they're swapping there.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Leo Styles here.
Yeah, because mid and carry swap a lot nowadays. So generally, it depends on the hero. You can see the carry mid a lot of the time. But I was a bit surprised he's gonna play the Quap here, which is. Yeah, I feel like they are used to it though, especially SA players. Like everyone, all the cores plays like Quap, Storm, Timber, these kind of heroes. Everyone knows them.
I mean, yeah, you say that, but it's also like Leo style. When we usually see him play, he's usually on one of those flashy heroes. Like he's the one driving the team forward and getting them space and stuff like that. So the fact that he's on a Viper right now, which is exactly not one of those heroes. I mean, I'm not saying that he can't play Viper because, let's be honest, everyone can play Viper. But it is going to be, Leo Style not really contributing to the team in such a way that he is used to, just by the nature of this hero. So, and we'll see if he's still going to be in his comfort zone again. Viper isn't really a hard hero to play, so he should be doing just fine. Unless there's, Bane Clockwork rotations in, the Viper certainly susceptible to that. If he's caught in cogs, if he's just going to get right-clicked a little bit by the Pugna with the blasts, like, as you said, this matchup is still okay for the Viper, but it's not going to be one where he dominates as much as some other matchups.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I think Pugna, I'm not sure how it goes early, but I think that hero is gonna do fine against the Viper. And then when Pugna hits 6, I don't really see Viper being able to kill in any way. Everyone just it felt like it was paused because everyone was standing still, no one was really moving. It looked pretty weird.
Let's see what this Clockwork is going to do, though. Boots first, Clockwork with the cogs is certainly an annoying hero to deal with. Is he going to cast anything? He's just going to...
Oh my god.
Feels good, man. Chimber has 18 MS and you're complaining? Come on, man. What's wrong with that?
Aren't they used to 180 MS though?
Pretty sure they are. They're gonna ask what server this is, and then they're just gonna go and then accept it. So, yeah. I mean, Timbersaw is a bad hero to be playing with lag.
I mean, he has 100 MS according to my console, so he's lying.
Oh, drama on another front. What's that command in the console?
Status. I don't know how it works when you spectate though. Status.
Do I have to go exit this game? My console isn't coming up. Where's my console? Is my launch options? Yeah, my launch options are actually without console, so...
Oh, that's pretty bad.
I'll have to take your word for it. I mean, let's be honest. I don't use console ever. I don't even know the commands.
I use it for... actually, I don't even use it for Rage Disconnect, but I use it for status and the pause.
Sometimes like for tournaments they'll be like, oh, to view this game you got to put this into the console, but I don't think that's happened since I had this fresh install. It's very rare nowadays, especially with like the Face It bridge stuff where it's like all machines running the lobbies and stuff like that.
That's pretty good stuff.
Certainly convenient, but Skynet's right around the corner, so everyone prepare yourselves. It's gonna be happening soon. We're all gonna die. Just a light cast here on the ESL Join Dota Blue stream.
1 minute. I've heard that before, and it's been a lie every time in my life. It's never been 1 minute.
Let's see. It's 32 right now on my clock.
Okay, I'm betting it's gonna be 7.5 minutes. That's
7.5 minutes. I'm gonna say we're gonna start at 35. Yep. We're gonna go by Price is Right rules also.
Yeah. Price is Right does not exist in Sweden, but I do know what
really?
you mean. Yeah. I mean, we don't have stupid shows here. We do
I
have a
don't
lot of them.
appreciate you insulting the glorious American daytime TV culture. Next thing you know, you're gonna start saying you don't have like the Wheel of Fortune and shit like that.
That I don't know what it is.
I barely know what Wheel of Fortune is either. They spin a wheel and they like choose letters to solve a puzzle, and the wheel has
Oh, yeah.
dollars on it or something.
Yeah, I think I know, but I only know because of Reddit. I wouldn't know otherwise.
Oh yeah. Certain South Park clips, perhaps.
No, I don't watch South Park.
No, you don't know what I'm talking about? Oh, you should definitely look that up. That's a classic right there. Just South Park
there's
Wheel
some,
of Fortune.
I
It's
feel
perfect.
like if you're gonna watch South Park, you have to watch all of it.
Well, let's just say that it's it's definitely an iconic South Park moment. But hey, looks like we're both wrong. It actually was just a minute. We were both deceived. Leo Style is really slow coming out of the gate. I actually wasn't paying attention to where he was going, but he's not in lane right now for whatever reason. So Pugna is going to have the first handful of creeps to himself. Going to get, well, 2 denies, and Leo Styles is now going to arrive with Nether Toxin, but there's not really able to harass ADR. Doesn't have that poison. The lane should be pretty passive, though, as we're going to take a look mostly at this top lane. Monkey King is going to be aggressed upon.
I think you should. Oh, you should stun there, dude.
Yeah.
There's no. You can get a sal. I don't think they should allow him to buy a poor man shield either. I think that's a big mistake. When you have this kind of laning, you can if you have all 3 properly positioned, you can make Monkey King not get to the side lane in quite some time. One of the most important things about playing against melee cores that didn't go poor man shield at the start.
Sand King maybe didn't make that call because he wanted to preserve his mana pool, but up against Clockwork, you're expected to lose quite a bit of your mana anyway. Even if you can't get that kill on the Monkey King with the Burrow Strike, you still force out some regen. You get like 4 or 5 free right clicks on him with the Queen of Pain. Like that's a lot of damage, even with that poor man shield. Now Dominic is actually completely out of mana. Theo has a lot more mana to spam out those cogs. A quick check on this bottom lane should be a pretty boring lane as well, but Enigma's got to be careful with these summons. See, 1 Timber Chain up. The Enigma's little dudes are doing pretty much nothing versus this Timber Saw. Another Timber Chain, and I don't know how much gold that is exactly, but it's a lot more than you should be giving over to a Timber.
Yeah, as long as if he doesn't feed any islands, it's gonna be a great thing for Enigma, because he's kinda, you don't get experience, etc. And I'm still surprised Timbersaw doesn't have a mango. I think he needs to get one out, at least before he's level 5.
They're going to jump in top lane, sleep the Queen of Pain, and look for the Rubik, but no cogs actually cast. They'll bump the Sand King, try to keep him out of this fight, but the telekinesis on the Monkey King. Actually, Theo just blocking Dominic. And Dominic's like, what the hell, why can't I move? Now the turnaround onto Wu with the Boundless Strike. Can't quite get any kills here, but that damage exchange and mana exchange vastly favoring SG Esports in this 3v3 lane. Monkey King.
Oh my god, Dominic.
Yeah, it's like the 4th or 5th cog hit.
Yeah. They should focus Clockwork in these fights, because Monkey King is unkillable with a poor man shield and 2 range heroes. Bane can be hard to kill, but Clockwork is a relatively easy kill, honestly. Okay, that did not cog Benjos for some reason. It's pretty funny to see the cogs, because it seems so random at times. Oh.
He's not that healthy right now.
Deny
is their best bet. Nightmare deny? No, got him.
Oh.
That was not how that was supposed to go, but doesn't matter, got the deny. Could you make sure that your mic is open in Dota TV? It's the team open chat, I think.
I need to double check, but it is open, yes.
Alright, well, if there's any problems, guys, in Dota TV, why are you watching in Dota TV? Come on, I mean, who does that? Watching the streams like normal people. Dominic is going to rotate out from that top lane. Does have just enough mana for a Burrow Strike. But over in the mid lane, the Pugna really putting the screws to Leo Style here. And as the corrosive skin comes up on the Viper, we'll get easier and easier to handle that lane. Dominic and Theo. Dominic, wake up, bro. Sandstorm, and he's caught like a rat. And he is going to dig his way out of the cogs. Gets bumped back, still out of mana. Theo only has 1 point in this battery assault, but it does do a lot of damage. I'm surprised the Pugna actually didn't come up here. He's still just dealing with the lane.
I think Viper didn't allow him to do it.
Theo's still going in. Cogs? He's just going for the rune.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think it's kind of risky against the Viper. He could chase you down. if he tried to commit for the Sun King. But lanes are pretty good for... I mean, it's pretty equal overall. I think Timber maybe should have a few more last hits. I think the Soul Ring is honestly the reason. They did block the bottom camp Dire, which is a huge deal, otherwise he could pull there. So you always block that camp when you're playing Enigma offlane, otherwise you're gonna lose.
Post is getting quite a few denies. I mean, I've mentioned several times now that these Eidolons, they don't really do all that much harassment-wise, but adding however much right-click damage to get these denies, not to mention the fact that every conversion takes out a range creep, that's a lot of experience that Timbersaw is just not seeing. Enigma's almost at that level 6 mark. And Timbersaw is about the same way towards his level 5. They'll jump towards top lane as the Nightmare gets pulled off the quap. Is that really the combo? Like Nightmare into Cogs into Tree Jump? Is that actually like a real kill combo? It doesn't seem like one. Not at least in this lane.
Oh, it seems One King is not getting a lot of experience. I guess Pop is not. I guess it's kind of bad for both. Generally, you know, all the people in the trial are level 3. But generally, you want your core to be a level above or 2 even.
Benjaz is going to get slept one more time. They're going to catch Wu in the Cogs, but we'll get lifted out, Theo. Still, they should have him. No deny this time. Theo's going to draw first blood on the Rubik. Really one of the few heroes that they actually can kill with this combo. So, it worked out well in the end. Benjaz still going to get driven back. CS-wise, the Quap is doing pretty well for herself with the Cogs again. Failing to do their job, but Rubik now joining up with SK, maybe looking for some action. SK, though, for pretty much this entire game, hasn't really done all that much. Smoke up is going to break. Theo is none the wiser, although Burrow Strike is going to land. He doesn't have enough mana for Cogs, Telekinesis, and right clicks, and he has Stick and Cogs, not in time. Although Pugna is coming in. This guy is already pretty quick. He's going to see Sand King and start right-clicking him. I don't really know if this is going to work out. Blast and Drain still going to stick, and it will be just enough. I always underestimate Pugna damage, bro. It's insane.
It's a lot that they cripify. People started doing high levels in it recently. You used to only put 1 point in it, but now, like the last, maybe not year, but like 6 months, I'd say, people realized that you can like max the cripify.
Yeah. I mean, usually Pugna is seen as, or was seen as kind of like a cheesy pick. It's like, oh my god, they're going Pugna, they're gonna go push. But now it's like, oh, we're just gonna pick Pugna and we're gonna be nuking fools because he is just that powerful when he goes for this Decrepify build. So, you know, picking it up for different reasons, and that specific reason for this particular game is gonna work out pretty well. Especially when you're talking about killing off someone like a Timbersaw, although Timbersaw is very typically build at least some magic resistance for themselves. Doesn't have any right now, and there is a black hole. So if Kill Rats is caught there, then he might be in a little bit of trouble here. There's the black hole, and the life drain, and the Decrepify, and he's dead. Theo even going to show up for some experience. They're going to jump into his top lane in the meantime, though. The Monkey King will be brought down. Bardino also. He does have 10 stick charges and a brain sap, but they're going to dive this tower. Brain sap is there. Stick charges still available. Dominic has to back off. He'll re-engage with the Burrow Strike. Benjaz, a couple more right clicks. Can't quite get it, but he's taking a lot of damage from this tower. Bardino with the jukes and will kill off the Quap. Finally, Wu circles around with the Fade Ball, gets the kill, but costs them a Quap. Not worth it.
Yeah, he didn't expect the rocket, because that was like about the damage of 1 tower attack. So he thought he could tank an extra tower attack, but the rocket made him mess up. But pretty even game so far. I think it's going as expected, more or less. I think Timber maybe should be a bit more ahead, and Pugna maybe a bit closer to the Viper. But overall, there's no like huge thing. You know, mid tower on both teams are pretty high, and Timber is slowly pushing.
Invis rune on the Clockwork that's not spotted. Ilyastel at this point does have maxed out Corrosive. He's going to get captured in the Cogs. Turns around for a Viper Strike onto Theo, but between Battery Assault and Drain, it's a lot of damage. He's going to turn around still in Drain range, and Theo now is overcommitted, although with the Decrepify can no longer right-click the Clockwork.
Good Decrepify.
Decrepify is a pretty good spell. And Theo's going to slip out of there. ADR is going to move towards the bottom lane now. The Enigma has moved towards the jungle. Man, that Pugna damage.
Yeah, it's a lot. Fortunately, it's a Timber, so he's full HP in a second.
Reactive Armor, Soul Ring. gonna go for. I would imagine you still go for that cloak at least. Could maybe, but you know for sure you're gonna be going for Bloodstone, so that bulk and that regen is gonna be coming up. And ADR doesn't actually have that much more mana. Oh. Jesus Christ, that's so stupid, man. Killrats is still in the jungle and he's kind of stuck there. He has to teleport out.
Oh, he TP to the tower. Like, that's pretty smart though. Unless he gets. Oh, Black Hole was used. Yeah, yeah. So it's a very long cooldown on level 1.
Well, Laposa does still have that hand of Midas. You mentioned Enigma getting ahead. He's second place in the net worth chart, which isn't too out of the ordinary for Enigma. But a very early Midas pickup with the ability to get even more gold thanks to ADR now being on this bottom lane for just fast pushing. Laposa does seem like he's going to have a lot of gold for those options, not to mention the experience that comes with it as well. So it does seem like SG Esports, you know, a pretty close kill game for right now, but they're getting pretty much all the tools that they really need to get. They're going to find success in this game. Top lane, you know, maybe not dealing with Benyas as much as they would really like, but it's still not going terribly.
No, I think both teams are kind of around the expected mark. Enigma is getting that good game though, like I was talking about. I think that's the core in SG Sports lineup, that he gets the farm. So I think that's very worrisome for Infamous. Timber is kind of struggling as well. I kind of thought he would have a bit more, and Pop is he's doing okay, I guess, in farm, but he would really like to be like level 8 now.
ADR just making mid lane his home is gonna take down the tower and give the lane over to the Clockwork in mid. The Clockwork is just here to kind of passively pull the creeps off, get a little bit of experience. And by a little bit of experience, I mean a lot of experience. He's pushing level 7 right now, and for a roaming support Clockwork, that's actually a reasonable amount of levels. And now level 7, maxed out in the battery assault, plus of course with that hook shot. And there aren't really many great heroes to kill off with that by himself. I mean, again, the list is pretty much only Rubik, and even then there's telekinesis, but still that threat of rotation from Theo is mounting up.
There's no way he gets out of this.
He has 10 stick charges. He's going to stun a couple heroes, but he doesn't have enough stacks on the Queen of Pain to actually get that lifesteal. They tried a couple of times to like Nightmare and then tree jump onto the Queen of Pain. It hasn't worked yet.
He has a very weird build. He has like 2 points in Boundless Strike, 3 points in Tree Dance, and 1 point in Jingle Master. Normally people do like, at level 8 they have 404. It's pretty common nowadays, so maybe we would survive with a build like that, because then you lifesteal fun. Tanking on top lane though.
He does Burrow Strike out. Bardino's there with the grip. And they also kill off the Timbersaw elsewhere in the meantime. Thankfully for the Dire, that little Satyr Tormentor coming in didn't actually do anything there. But 2 kills. I've seen this build a lot from this region, just maxed out in the Primal Spring and the Tree Dance. I'm not really sure if I like it. ADR will teleport out from the bottom lane after taking out the tower. Clean escape for him. But it kind of makes sense with what they're trying to do in this lane, where it's like, it's all about the burst. You don't really have the time to get the Jingu stacks up. You just want to do as much damage off of the Nightmare. So I guess it kind of makes sense. But Nightmare, they already used the grip. They have a Brain Sap. That's nowhere near enough.
Rushing Battle Fury.
Holy crap, you're right. Now that I haven't seen before. Killrats is going to arrive, and he will miss his Timber Chain. That would have been a kill, because it would have chopped down the Monkey King. Oh no, they're just still fighting
so
over this stack. Killrats is looking rather immune here. The rotation coming in.
Black Hole was used though for the bottom kill, so they don't have that. And this stack is cleared already.
Another Boundless Strike, and Bane gets caught, lifted up. Fighting in the Midnight Pulse, not the greatest, and that Timber Chain was not the greatest either. Killrat's kind of in the middle of nowhere right now. Has another chain out. Will get stunned out of it with the Battery Assault. Oh my god, that's bad. They're going to land a really nice Sonic Wave, but the turnaround with the hookshot, just a little bit of stunning action, will force Benyas to leave. Bardino does have a Nightmare right now, and he will put Wu under. With Laposa there with the Malphus. Here comes the jump from the Monkey King, and it's not even going to matter because he's already dead. It's going to be a bloodbath in the top lane, and SG, despite not having a good portion of their big ultimates, still make it happen.
Yeah, pretty damn well played by ESL Sports. Timbersaw got caught kind of unfortunately when he jumped up the high ground. And Quop for the... I mean, if you was a level higher, I think they would have died. At least 2 people because of the high level in Scream of Pain. But it ended up being very good for SG Esports instead, and its Enigma is getting very far ahead now. With he has Soldering, Arcane Boots, Midas, and 2.3k gold right now. I wonder what he will get actually. Mech seems okay, but I think you can skip that honestly. I think you could go like BKB Rush or Blink. Oh, he's probably gonna go down here. Yeah, there's a epicenter as well.
He doesn't spend any of his gold.
So that's minus 300.
Sand King's taking quite a bit of damage here. The flare comes in off the mark. Oh man,
Oh,
any
and
hero
the
that
Viper?
comes up here could have just cleaned house, but instead
Oh,
over
that's a
mid,
lot of damage.
the
Yes, of course.
channeling spells, it's not even going to be good enough. He has so much magic resistance and the hook shot goes wide.
Dire's top tower is under
Viper,
That's
man.
worse than Rush though. That's I wonder if that might have saved him. I guess if he went like Dragonlance, it would be even tankier, so maybe wouldn't have mattered. But this is pretty good for his esports though, with the 2 bottom towers being down, and because of Monkey King's build, he actually farms very fast because he has max Primal Spring, so he can like farm the jungle at a very high rate compared to what normal Monkey Kings would be able to do. So that's a very interesting aspect here, and it looks like Enigma is gonna go for the Blink Dagger as his next item, which I don't mind. I think they have pretty good map control and they can abuse farming speed as well as pickups with this for a bit until they get a bit more items on their heroes.
It definitely does seem like this Enigma, despite literally just having been brought down, is just way farther ahead than he should be. I mean, just do a quick comparison between the Enigma and the Timbersaw. There really is no comparison. Enigma has, like, oh my god, like close to double the net worth. Not to mention the fact that Timbersaw is level 10 to Enigma's 13. Which is a ridiculous advantage for that Enigma. Theo is going to see Leo style, but a double damage Viper is not something you want to tango with, especially since he has a 4-staff out. It does seem like SG with this build on Monkey King and as a whole, they kind of want to get into this like split push kind of play. Like, it seems like Monkey King is going to try to do his best anti-mage impression.
I feel like this was the build people did at first with Monkey King carrying. They're like, oh, we're gonna go Ballet Hero. But then people are like, no, that's bad. And people stopped doing it. And now he's going back to it, you know. And I don't feel like there's no reason for it. Like, it's not like it's good against if he was young or something. But it does increase his farming speed by a lot. And I'm not sure. It doesn't necessarily have to be for a specific purpose. Instead of just getting like Deso and stuff like that, a Diff Blade, which is common.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, you can see that for SGE, they're kind of fully committing to this style of play. Pugna did pick up, obviously, the Aether Lens first, pretty standard stuff, and then get Travels next, which is not a super rare item on Pugna, but to get it first after the Aether Lens means that, you know, they kind of want to just be bouncing all around the map with this Monkey King and looking for random heroes being out of position. Speaking of, there's a smoke here. Dominic does have a Blink Dagger on the SK. And he's moving into a dangerous position, although with Leo style with him, 1700 HP worth of Viper. Killing him off is going to be a tough call. They will see him. The smoke has been blown by the Sand King, just timed out. There's a lot of heroes moving into this area, though, for SGE, as they're going to give ADR a little more space up towards top. It feels like SGE could be doing a lot more right now. Like, they're just kind of playing very passively around this farming Monkey King.
Yeah, it seems like they're just gonna go from a farming style. They have a very, like, if you look at how they're playing and, you know, their item choice is Pugna with the BOT, Monkey King with the Belfry, they're kind of going for some weird, like, map control by pushing and complete farming style, which is, like, super interesting here, and I don't think that's what... It doesn't make sense in a direct way, like, their lineup doesn't scream like this kind of a style, but because... Oh, actually top lane. Oh,
Black Hole comes in and cancels the Sonic Wave mid-cast. So much damage out with the Life Chain. Quap gets put down, and Dominic will try to slip away, but he can't blink out.
What a bait.
No damage done there at all to the Pugna thanks to that Life Drain. And of course, Laposa even had time to set up the Midnight Pulse before the Black Hole, so just maximum damage output. Tower for sure is going to fall on top, but it looks like one might fall on the bottom lane as well. Killrats is going to be chased down by a Monkey King TP. Top lane actually still alive as mass TPs come up towards this top lane.
Hookshot almost caught him. There's a long TP on Timbersaw, so Clockwork almost managed to stop it. But that was good. SG Sports are really controlling this game, and it looks easy as well for them. Like, I don't know how we could. Enigma was like, okay, I know that, because he was like farming, and then like he stopped farming for like 10 seconds to stand behind Pugna and be ready, and that 10 seconds is when they actually try and kill the Pugna. And what a great turnaround. I wonder what Infamous Young's response is, because normally when a hero like Enigma uses a big cooldown ultimate like that, the other team tends to push and stuff like that, but they don't have the heroes, you know, they have a Viper that can push. But that's it. So they can't punish it. So SG Sports are just gonna get even further ahead now.
They don't have the heroes to kill off enemy structures. They also don't have the heroes to, right now at least, deal with the split push from the Monkey King. Again, he's playing like an anti-mage, at least as much as the Monkey King can be an anti-mage, constantly forcing 1-2 heroes to just show up in this bottom lane, and then whenever they leave the lane, just bounce on the creep wave, do it twice, or just once, I guess, with the Battle Fury now up, and you kill another creep wave. Back to the jungle, rinse, repeat pretty much forever for this Monkey King. So Infamous, they really don't have the lanes and the momentum they need, not to mention they don't have the farm in order to actually go and punish this long cooldown. Enigma's only going to have it on cooldown for another 75 seconds. That window is very rapidly closing, and this is a concern. Infamous Young are kind of being pulled every which way, and their heroes, you can see, starting to fall behind in the farm department. Timbersaw struggling a lot to get gold in this game, and Viper, Quap, they're not doing fantastically either. These are heroes that usually want to be getting hero kills, not really creep kills.
Or is this a bait on bottom lane now? Or this could be a big deciding factor who takes control now. SG Sports are very far ahead now, but this could be the turnaround if they get too cocky and go on this Viper. But they might be able to kill all three though, because they're so strong.
Leo Style is going to go in the side. He's going to run to Theo. No, there it is.
Okay.
That's a real clockwork. He's going to try to TP out. Wu is going to arrive, cancel the TP, but a nice boundless strike as well as the command will do a lot of damage here. Leo Style may get this kill, but no, he's actually gripped up. He can't get the kill. Theo is going to survive. Corrosive will kill him off in the end. Super powerful poison right there as the Quap and the Timber arrive from the side, but are unable to get anything done.
Tanking, blink cooldown.
Oh, he's going to Burrow Strike into the trees, try to TP out. Damage is not enough. Oh, Boundless Strike, that was close for being completely blind. And that was SG turning things around, despite, you know, kind of blowing their cover with the clockwork there. And that's the type of caliber of fight that you kind of expect a black hole to be used in, but they obviously didn't have it. But now they do, so they can look SG to really push this issue once again.
Yeah, this game is looking very bad for Infamous Young on mid lane. This is probably a kill, I think.
Yeah, he got him with Orchid.
Yeah.
Benyez,
very big
Sonic
kill.
Wave, Orchid with a Epicenter Burrow Strike. And Monkey King having gone for this Battle Fury doesn't exactly help him survive, although he is rather tanky. This hero just typically does get quite a bit of health. 1700 HP is a lot to grind through. 30 seconds down, they still have the black hole. It's a momentary hiccup in the plans for SG Esports, but it doesn't seem like that kill for Infamous is really going to translate into anything.
Oh, that's one of the biggest issues for Infamous Young now, is that they can probably get pickoffs here and there, but SG Esports is probably going to get more pickoffs, and they have higher farming speed, and I think they have a better lineup going into the late game as well. I don't think this team is going to have huge impact, and the Viper, like, is he gonna be able to make a comeback this game? The hookshot lands.
He just used his Hurricane Pike to get further up the lane. He's gonna turn and fight onto Theo, but again the grip comes in, as well as that Midnight Pulse, and Midnight Pulse does a hell of a lot of damage when you're at 2k HP, so Theo setting up a really nice fight, and Viper, I mean, he kind of smelled something coming. He uses Hurricane Pike just as a force staff just to try to get back to his base, but at that point you have no more escape. If he did have it still, then he would have been able to push himself out of the cogs, maybe survives against the grip. It would have been a little bit close either way, but Viper needs to survive. He needs to keep getting gold, and that pickoff worth quite a bit for SGE, and maybe now looking at a little bit of damage onto this SK, who is just camping out mid. No hook shot for another 20 seconds, though, so it does seem like SGE have to hit the brakes, at least till that's back up.
Yeah. The Monkey King is trying to farm. He is farming quite well. He's farming well, but he's still third in his own team.
Mm-hmm.
And Enigma got the 15 quite some time ago, so he's like confirmed snowballed pretty hard, and he's gonna queue up on Octarine now. And Enigma late game, when he gets this kind of status, it's like so hard to fight, especially when you have nothing to break the black hole. Like, and Rubik is far behind as well. It's not gonna be a reliable black hole steal, at least not a black hole steal and a cancel at the same time. That's not gonna happen reliable. So this game is looking super hard for Infamous Young, and I don't know what their plan should be, because they kind of have to farm and hope for the best almost. They don't really have much choice.
Level 17 on this Enigma with this caliber of farm. And I guess the scary thing is that Pugna is level 18. Also has a decent amount of farm, 12k net worth, number 1 in the game. It's not bad. Going for the Ags, though, unfortunately doesn't have that health component on him. He's just going to start chipping away at this tower. Dodging Saw Blades, never mind walking through Saw Blades because he doesn't give a damn. And they find the Sand King off to the side. Boundless Strike and a grip. Hookshot now in onto the Rubik, who did steal the grip, but it will immediately lose it. Clockwork stuck in a Saw Blade as well. Sonic Wave comes in, but Nightmare will be used. Theo's taking quite a bit of damage here, but he's not going to go down. I don't think Infamous can continue this fight. As powerful as the Timbersaw is, oh, they got the tower denied. That's probably the best they could hope for. ADR, though, still wants in. Laposta Black Hole. Well, the Viper does dodge it, but this is not going to be enough to save this Timbersaw, not even for a deny. Was a BKB Black Hole. For Infamous, that's probably the best they could ask for, but I'm still sure that SGE are not going to be too upset about that.
Yeah, it was a bit slow from the Enigma. Could have caught two, but it's not a biggest of deal. It's just good for Infamous Young. That was a good fight for SD Sports. He has the cooldown talent, so the Black Hole doesn't have the most insane long cooldown, and like we mentioned earlier, Infamous Young can't really punish that long CD. Maybe a pickup like this, but it's not a good kill either.
Gonna dig himself into the corner. Cogs onto 2. Boundless Strike with the Midnight Pulse will do quite a bit of damage. Timbersaw with the barrier will jump out and will cut down the Monkey King, so he's no longer a factor in this fight, but he's not focusing him. He's kind of focusing on Theo instead. Monkey King now is gonna get aggressed upon, will be brought down. Saw the Enigma off to the side, couldn't kill him, but Timbersaw up against Monkey King, man. If you're able to just cut him down, easy peasy kill. And with those 2 heroes down, with the Black Hole now down, into Roche they go. It might be too slow, though. They don't really have that much damage.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of damage. I think this is a bad idea. But it seems like they're gonna force it. Monkey King will not spawn in time, and they have good control. It just looks like Clockwork will try and go for a steal play. I think it seems like they're dropping this. I feel like they could have maybe tried to contest, but it will probably end up them feeding, and they might not lose Roche, but they will probably lose several heroes.
They'll abandon ship onto Roshan just to make sure that Theo doesn't get anything done there. So Leo Style will be able to clean up that Roche, get himself a double life, not to mention the gold associated with it. That fight, that pickup, absolutely massive for Infamous Young. Question is, though, even with this Aegis, will that really help them? Because it hasn't really been the lack of fighting power that's really been stopping them from the push as much as the split push from everyone else on SGE, and Aegis doesn't help you counter split push. It helps you YOLO in, so maybe they just go in anyway with this Aegis and try to make something happen versus these tier 2s as the Enigma's Black Hole. That's only 20 seconds off. They'll have it again to defend.
It's more about them being able to play a bit more cocky and get a bit more so than it being huge in a game deciding factor. Top lane Monkey King seems to want to get this farm, but they're not gonna. They just blinked out to get the bounties and stuff. Oh, thank you. But we also saw the power of Timber versus Monkey King there. Cut down the tree and then he has dice. Normally he would never be able to die, but if his tree gets cut down, he's done for 4 seconds, and he might go down again.
You're trying to TP out. All stuns were already used, and the TP will stick. Wu was like 5 feet away from being able to telekinesis that Monkey King. Great recognition there by the MK, and I don't really know why he's leaving without, you know, getting to full HP. But you know what? The towers will be needing defense. This is unfortunately for Infamous. I don't really think the time to go for this. They just used the epicenter. At this point, they need every single asset that they can possibly get. They're going to go in for maybe a little bit chip damage. Timbersaw is in mid lane, though, so they don't have a good way. Oh, wait. Can they see each other?
Oh my
Oh,
god!
they telekinesis him. There you go. Monkey King now lifted up. The trees will be destroyed. He does have a nightmare behind him, but the tree spring will be dodged by the nightmare. They'll still be able to take down the Monkey King.
Oh my god.
Monkey King versus Rubik. And Rubik, the Grand Magus, is going to jack the mobility. I don't know if you can actually see each other like that.
I mean,
but
they could. He just lifted first. That was pretty weird. But Pagna is gonna pressure bottom at the same time. But 2 depths in a row for Monkey King. It's not gonna look good going to this game now. The game is turning pretty rapidly, I'd say, into Pagna bottom lane. Can they catch him? He does have a TP. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're gonna come in.
He has the Ags as well.
Yeah, the game is switching pretty quick actually now. Monkey King, I think one of those deaths are like, okay, you can take them and it's not gonna impact the game plan too much. But that second death, it gave a lot of mana for Infamous Young, and it's becoming a game where it's up to Enigma only instead of having Enigmas. Meanwhile,
yeah, he's gonna find the Timbersaw, catches him in the cogs with the drain there. They'll make quick work of the Timbersaw, but lose their Clockwork in exchange. Still a decent trade for SG Esports to take, as Timbersaw is going to be cleared out. Everyone else will leave the lane successfully. And Quap maybe hunting a little bit in the mid lane. Can't really find all that much, as Bardino actually does have vision in the area. Does also have an Invis rune. With a little bit of a soft target here in the Rubik. Are they going to go for this? And they know that there's True Sight there, obviously, since being dewarded. They're looking for the Viper instead.
Going for that kill? There's not a lot of backup available.
You have to kill him twice right now.
I think this is a bit too greedy. Timbersaw TPing top though right now. If they go for Pagna on Infamous Young, they might go on the Viper bottom at the same time.
There it is, Nightmare. They have to kill him twice. Jingu's really good. They will deploy the Monkey King ult for the first life. And they still have the Jingu stacks for the second life.
Good play. It's gonna be TP as well.
Okay. I'm pretty sure they didn't need the black hole there.
No, yeah, they didn't need to, but they don't know where the other were. Yeah. Everyone was in fog, so they were expecting some kind of backup, and I think that's the better play right there to do. I don't think there's a reason not to do it. I hope he uses a spell though before Rubik manages to steal it. I don't think he's done it yet.
He's going to Malphus, so it's clear. And, well, they'll start chipping away with this Pugna. Did take the cast range talent, of course, has that Ether Lens, so another blast range from a super far distance. Hoo hoo ha ha. Kill Rats pushing forward is kind of acceptable, but they're not really focusing on him. They do jump forward. Mass BKB's up in the front. Oh, that Sonic Wave, I think, is going to be dodged by the Nightmare? Perhaps. But the Pugna's still not looking all too healthy. Needs to start life draining, but they're all magic immune. Can't find anyone to life drain and will go down. They also chop down the Monkey King with that Timbersaw. And they focus him down. Nice burn strike again. The Monkey King's doing no damage. It's just perma-stun right now, but the Timbersaw misses his chain out and will go down. The Monkey King's still alive. 2-man Boundless Strike as the Enigma Summons doing a little bit of work here versus that Sand King. Monkey King is just going to leave. Bardino looking to maybe sacrifice his life so that everyone else can escape. Viper's going to ride from the back. Bane will fall. But for SG Esports, they put a lot of damage into that tower, but BKB's fresh on the Sand King, fresh on the Quap, put a hard stop to that Pugna.
That was the first showing of mass BKB play that you can do against just like Pugna and like OD. Those heroes are very weak against that. It was very good play by Young, but I think it ended up being okay for SG Esports. If Monkey King had died, I think it would have been a lot of trouble. But he got out and Enigma got out, and those are the 2 core heroes. And Enigma is about to pick up Octarine, which is an insanely good item here. And Monkey King, I can't help but feel like if this was a traditional carry, the weakness of this hero, like he has died like 2 times, 3 times, kind of randomly, to nothing really, not like super coordinated stuff. That's because the hero is not the strongest. I feel like maybe if it was another hero that wouldn't have the same weakness. But he's doing damage when the ultimate is down at least, so they still can rely on that.
Still going to be going for that Desolator. Battle Fury is still the odd item out here for the Monkey King, but again, as long as you're able to do lots of right-click damage, get that Boundless Strike to land on a handful of heroes, you're still going to be more or less doing the job of the Monkey King. For right now, though, SG Esports smoked up. They do see a regen rune, losing a haste rune there, unfortunately. That kind of sucks. But they have a black hole now. What's the cooldown?
Oh, just rocket to scout the smoke, but that makes it Pugna think there's no one there instead, so it could backfire, so he's too cocky.
Oh, they see the blast. ADR to... He's gonna get caught with the burst strike, and silenced, and down. Wu also steals the blast, so they had not much tower damage, but now they kind of do. Kill Rats in the meantime, mid lane is shoving that one in as well, looking for the tier 2 over the high ground push. Pugna does have a buyback, but that pickoff, a really, really big one for Infamous Young, is going to get them a tier 2 tower, and now we have a high ground situation.
Enigma needs to smoke himself here, I think, if they have one. I think they don't need to use Pugna buyback. If they smoke the Enigma, he just sits ready.
So Midnight Pulse the Timbersaw will do quite a bit of damage in the background, and Laposa will get a lot of life from that as well. The Timbersaw is getting really, really separated from his allies right now. Another Malphite stun. And Battery Assault. He might just get stunned out of his Timber Chain. No, he'll actually get out of there as the tier 3 will fall. Wu, though, taking a lot of damage from it.
And that Nether Blast steal was pretty big, actually. That basically made them do twice the damage.
I don't think they take that tower if they don't have Blast.
Yeah, it's going pretty damn well now. Like, the Monkey King is not doing that much, and they're getting good pickups on Infamous Young, and the Timbersaw has been struggling, but he's starting to get up there where he does a ton. He doesn't have the mana sustain to kind of fight constantly and farm, but he's like one item away from being there. And the Corp is pretty damn farmed, honestly, at this point. He's gonna go into a Mjolnir next, which synergizes as well with the Spell Lifesteal talent. And it's looking damn good. They have... Is Viper getting a BKB on the courier? Yeah, it is. So that's 3 BKBs right now. That's pretty scary to fight into. It's basically up to him, up to Enigma now.
Well, luckily for the Enigma, there is no Blink Dagger, nor is there a Force Staff yet up on the Rubik. So Black Hole is a little bit more difficult to steal from that Rubik, although I do think he should be able to complete this Force Staff soon. If not now. Is this his? This is actually his. So he does have a Force Staff. Will be able to scoot in and grab himself a Black Hole pretty easily. Up towards top lane, though, Young Kill Rats alone in this top lane. Throw out a Saw Blade and get very, very far away. The rest of Infamous Young are circling around, and the Flare will not see anything. The smoke, and they see Roshan. If they get into a fight right now, this could be really, really bad for Infamous, as SG Esports, with their position...
He doesn't have the most mana, like I talked about. He's not yet there to be able to just perma fight and farm.
This is incredibly dangerous for both sides. Scan on the Radiant is not going to see anything. Do the Dire have a scan themselves? Looks like they do. Unless this is an observer bug, which it may be. I don't know. But their position is absolutely perfect to receive this smoke gank. And Leo Styles like, oh, it looks like they might be gone. Is he baiting? And he has Magic Immunity, plus he's really tanky anyway. I bet everyone's just going to back off and nothing's going to happen. I mean, Timbersaw is pushing mid, so...
Like it. Bane went Medallion. They normally go Glimmercape from Bane to be able to go in and ultimate. I think maybe if he had that, he could go in ultimate Viper, and then Infamous Young counters the Bane, and then Enigma just can land a Black Hole because of that. But now they're keeping out one at a time. This could be bad. It seems like Infamous Young kind of knows. I don't know if that could work, but they're gonna catch people.
Laposa does still have a blink out of here. He'll jump out. Gordino will be left behind. He'll actually absorb the Sonic Wave, and the hook shot out from the Clockwork.
Oh my
god. Bane actually TP'd out? No way. Nightmared the Quap and then just TP'd straight.
Oh.
That's unbelievable.
That's that's like, oh, we can get 3 kills, and then like, oh, let's go for... I go for this guy, you go for that guy, and get that guy as well, and then like, you get no one instead. That's pretty funny. That was a good escape from SG Sports.
I mean, that was a little sloppy. That could have been just entirely avoided if they all just TP'd out. But either way, given the situation, still they handled it quite well. Now sliding all the way down to the bottom lane. Both sides at this point have a lot of respect for one another. They are going to see a Sandstorming SK. It's the only hero that really is presenting himself as a vulnerable target. Benya is spotted up towards top lane as well, I suppose, but no one's really in the area to punish this Quap.
Yeah, they haven't really done much SG Sports now. They haven't gotten a single pick off in quite some time. They're doing great in farming though. Infamous Young are still in the lead, but the three cores are super farmed on SG Esports. So especially the Enigma is I would say is the most important hero in this game. So him had been farmed, so he has oh, they're smoking. They're gonna smoke under this ward now, I think. Okay, they're not. They seem like they gather for a smoke and then they just don't have one.
Not quite yet. They're still looking to get into a defensive position to fight over this Roshan. The bottom lane, though, Timbersaw does have travels, so he's shoving that one and just trying to maybe force some one guy back. But it does seem like SG Esports, they are really careful about spending this black hole on the Enigma. Just rotating around as a 5-man. Infamous Young, though, are not doing that. And unless SG Esports actually find a pickoff with their 5-man, this means that they're going to get even further behind in the farm department.
Okay.
They'll find a Sand King. Stick is a little bit off.
Meanwhile, Roche thinks they can actually put a DD from Pop. I guess Clockwork scouted it. I think that's why they're getting out, most likely. Yeah. Kinda low though. Lost to 1/3 of his HP. And there's a good ward here from Radiant to spot this.
Oh, the blink out. Leposa is going to dodge that burrow strike. Now here come the monkeys with Viper in the front. He does have a BKB, but he can't pop it. The black hole comes out first. Wu has not stolen the black hole. He actually stole the Monkey King spell. And now is going to be chased out of there. And that is going to be 1 kill so far. The Epicenter is going to do a little bit of damage here to the Monkey King, but a Force Staff out should keep him safe. Unless there's a Sonic Wave for Benyas, there still is, but not really sure who he should be going for right now. Timbersaw is finally going to arrive. That will kill off Theo. But to get the drain on the Timbersaw, he does scoot off to the right side, and with the chains, will get out. It looks like completely free and clear. Maybe not. The Enigma is going to give a little bit of chase here, but this is a Timber Chain with Arcane Rune we're talking here. You can't catch up to that. It still will be a 3-for-1 exchange unless Kilras actually will get hit with the Malefice. He missed the Timber Chain. Something happened there. Either way, he's in a little bit of trouble now. We'll jump to the high ground. More heroes teleporting into the shrines. Monkey King looking for an angle. He doesn't have Boundless Strike. They do have a Blast. They do have a little bit of Drain action. Is that going to be enough? Yes, it will be. A 4-for-1 now for SG Esports, as they're able to completely eliminate the Viper without giving him a chance to do anything. Literally, the Viper did nothing in that fight.
Yeah, they used a lot. The Rubik managed to throw Monkey King out of his own ultimate, so he cancelled it after like 1.5 seconds. And I thought that was gonna be the, so to say, team win because of that. But that's also the issue with their lineup from Infamous Young. They have nothing to cancel an Eagle Black Hole. So he can just put it on like a Viper. The Viper's gonna go down for sure. And pretty big BKB usage from his SC Sport. Pugna survived because of that. And looking hard now for Infamous Young. The game is pretty even though still. Roche is a big factor. Who gets that is gonna have a huge advantage. And this Viper is keeping up in form though, which is pretty impressive in my opinion.
The Enigma though, with that Octarine, has another black hole. And at this stage, as Enigma, you're even probably going to be even willing to just throw it out on any one guy, as long as you know you can get that kill on that one guy. Just for value reasons. It's cooldown again, 100 seconds, right? 102 seconds. Soon to be refreshered on this Enigma. There's a lot of power here for SG Esports. The Infamous will have to respond to, and again, they don't really have the greatest tools to do so. It really does seem like Rubik, he kind of needs to steal that black hole at this stage if they're going to have any chance at a really convincing team fight. SG Esports BKBs, their damage, their control, it really is all there in a team fight scenario. And it won't really be matched again unless there is that steal. Bottom lane is being pushed by just a Sand King. He'll kill the creeps mighty quick. But this top lane is going to be pushed now as Pugna Blast still does damage versus towers. Looks like he isn't actually fully committed though.
Yeah. So Pop is getting close to 25, which is pretty damn huge. He also got the Mjolnir more or less on the system fight right away. I feel like it's basically the Cop trying to do everything versus Enigma getting good black holes off right now, and the rest of the cast is, if they don't mess up, it's gonna be good. But those two are the most important, and I think it's definitely easier for Enigma. I think he has a lot more room to work with, especially when he gets the refresher. Then he has a lot of options to play the types.
Heroes in the mid lane. almost close to one another. They're maybe looking for a setup onto the Sand King. Does blink deep into the trees. Is there a clockwork nearby? No, there isn't. Nowhere close. Otherwise, could have put a quick end to that those shenanigans from the Sand King. But in the meantime, we're going to call that space created because there's a double damage rune on this Queen of Pain and a target in the Roshan. Shiva's Guard and the Maim. Attack speed for the Roche is incredibly slow. And it seems like SG Esports, they just can't get to this area in time. They'll flare it. It's going to be really close to actually killing off Roche, but it's too late to actually do anything about it. That's double life for Viper. Essentially a double life for the Queen of Pain in that cheese. So SGE kind of getting outmaneuvered right now by Infamous Young.
SG Esports has a lot of stuns though, so getting the cheese off is gonna be quite hard. However, with the Mjolnir, he can put it on himself, blink in, and it's unkillable. To an extent, of course. While the BKB up, he doesn't lifesteal a lot, so if they burst in while the BKBs are active, it's gonna be hard for him. But it's Enigma. It's definitely gonna go Sanking bottom lane. He did, I think. There's no BKB.
Well, BKB and no TP. They do black hole him. Again, it's Octarine. 100-second cooldown.
Long, but I guess Sanking is dead for longer than the... Like, Sanking won't be able to get to the opponent's base until black hole is up. So I think it's okay. It seems a little bit forced.
They have a refresher orb too, so break in case of emergency.
He could, they could debate now, and he like uses the refresher, and then they go. You know, people are not expecting that. You don't show the refresher, you put it in base or something. But Infamous Young are probably not gonna go for anything. You don't wanna use it to initiate. You want it to use it when they get cocky most of the time.
Enigma so far has not wandered over any observers for the Radiant side, so Leposa's refresher orb is now going to be revealed if they're paying attention, of course, and they should be. You need to make sure you see a double black hole, but Phil Rats, he does have a Lotus on himself, so as far as Bane killing off this Timbersaw, it's going to be really difficult. And he's actually setting up for a couple allies to come in. And this is, in theory, the perfect time, if you discount the refresher orb. Still 30 seconds left, where there is no Enigma. The Sand King can teleport into the tier, or to the shrine, rather, and get in here really quickly. But this is also a shrine area for SG. If they lose heroes, they can buy back and teleport straight in. 15 seconds is the opening. It's not a big one.
Smoke from Bane gets broken instantly.
And shot in.
Lands.
It's onto the Sand King. They land the grip. No BKB is going to help him here. He'll just get drained out. And 70 seconds now, he's dead. Leposa still has his smoke. He's sweeping for a couple of more kills, but he won't find anyone else.
Can they push out of this? I think they could do some damage. I think if they want, they can try and get the tier 3 bottom, but not more. But even that is pretty damn risky, you know, fighting into Aegis cheese is not the greatest idea. Viper is very close to 25. He has a very scary talent in the 20 armor. I guess the other talent is kind of bad, but 20 armor against Monkey King can be pretty damn good. Fortunate for SD Sport, there's a lot of magic damage on their lineup.
They'll just deal with these side lanes. Aegis time right now, very valuable time, is being burnt right now, as Infamous Young are going to have their Viper run into a Bane. The good old run-at-you initiation style of a Bane without a Glimmer Cape or anything like that. Jeez, it's a lot of damage from that Boundless Strike. The Monkey King at this point, of course, has that Desolator. I have Scotty next. Well-rounded build for this Monkey King. He'll lose a Shrine. It seems like Infamous Young don't really get the most out of this Aegis yet. Still not too late, I guess, but doesn't seem like it's really going to do all that much.
Butterfly incoming on Viper, and other items that are big is the Hex on Timber. I think he's relatively close. Yeah, he got it actually. And he doesn't have a lot of Bloodstone charges though, so he has to be careful about... Normally you don't have the buyback necessarily on Timber, because you have like 15 Bloodstone charges, but he has 4, so he wants to have it. But I guess it's okay for now. And other big items...
Oh, sheep on Pugna.
Yeah, that's huge as well.
Doesn't have a Blink Dagger, just has a Force Staff, but still, just being able to drop that on like a Queen of Pain, just being able to ignore her or just drain them out.
Monkey King got the 25 talent, and he crit on creeps 1.3k. So time to be a bit scared of that dude, but it's a lot of armor on a lot of heroes as well. You know, Timber has a ton of armor, so it's not gonna do insane damage on him, and Viper as well has a lot of armor. So it might not do that much damage on the heroes.
You know, even Queen of Pain with the Shiva's guard, pretty
Rubik,
bulky up against that physical.
Rubik might get one shot though if he lands the bonus strike. I think he will barely survive, but he will take over 1k damage. I think if it lands.
I think if he gets hit once by Monkey King, I guess twice with the Echo Saber, but like one hit on the Rubik and then a boundless strike and he's dead.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. So just don't get hit by that, Wu.
Yeah.
I am mighty.
Oh, now he's gonna get one shot for sure. Now maybe more will get one shot. I think Sand King, maybe. He doesn't have a lot of armor.
Oh, they're gonna go in pretty deep. Hook shot in onto a Viper. Burst Strike is gonna interrupt a little bit. Where's the black hole? Here it comes. Only onto one hero though. They will deploy the Monkey King ultimate, doing a lot of damage to Banez. Secondary black hole, not yet ready for Liposa, is now going to drop it onto two more. And that's going to kill off the Quap. This Viper also, not long, is actually going to end up on the high ground thanks to the swirl from the black hole. They're still going to fight it out though with the Drain, with the Jingu lifesteal, plus double damage. It's going to be the Monkey King to grab a triple kill and now fight it out for maybe survival. No, we'll go down to the Timbersaw, now sheeped up and on the run. But it's going to be a 2 for 3. That's going to cost SGE both of their black holes. Honestly, like, that's not the worst thing in the world for Infamous. They do take down the Monkey King, but man, this Enigma delivering huge.
Rubik managed to steal the black hole and use it, but he got cancelled by battery.
Bane. There's they found the Sand King rather.
Oh, seems hard to kill him. Yeah.
Nightmare, you don't see him. Well,
yeah, it was a pretty good fight, but nothing really happens as a result, you know. Because the Monkey King died, they lose all pushing power, and Roche is not up yet, so there's nothing really happened. Actually, it didn't really favor anyone either. It was pretty funny how it ended being.
4K still is the lead for Infamous Young. That gold lead though, I mean, 4K 50 minutes in isn't really that much. It does feel like in this game that the game plan for SG is almost entirely determined by how successful this Enigma's black holes are. So, I mean, you could be 5, 10k ahead. I mean, it doesn't really matter. As long as you land a good black hole, you'll be right back in it. Kill Rats, though, is going to run into a Bane. And Bane just dropped his gem.
That was weird. He dropped the gem. I don't know. Oh my god. Imagine if Timber had a item flop.
Kill Rats is still on the way out. Malphus.
I think he's dead. He's very dead, I think.
Well, there is a Lotus here, and it will cancel the ultimate from the Bane, but it obviously does not cancel this black hole from the Posa. Kill Rat's down for 80. He does have buyback.
Bloodstone charges again. He's not too happy about his Bloodstone right now.
Back to 4 charges.
I think they should try and take the bottom tower with this though, at least ST Sports. I think you can, if you can kill the shrines, that's a pretty huge deal, honestly. That's like killing a Rex in my opinion. Close to it at least.
At least this top shrine for the Radiant side, as far as versus Roshan is concerned, Bardinho is gonna get jumped, sheeped up.
He has the gem, right? Yeah, he does. Oh, okay.
Maybe that's why he dropped it. He wanted to give it to someone else.
Yeah, I think he wanted Clockwork to have it.
Well, Theo is going to place an obs, which will see everyone rotate in. There is another black hole on the Posa, and is going to set it up only onto one. Don't go in there, man. They should be able to take down the Queen of Pain fairly easily, and they will do so. But now both black holes are down. They will find Wu, though. What are you doing back here, bro? He's dead as well. Quap has no buyback, so...
No buyback on Rubik or Quap. Oh my god, this could be a lot of tower damage. Thankfully, there's tier 2s up at least for them, so they will only lose bottom racks unless they go for Throne, which I'd help them with.
Careful, Leo style does have a 4-staff. The Blast, though, making this push very safe from ADR with the Sheep Stick at this point. Very safe distance, although needs a 4-staff out. Here comes the Wukong's command. ADR still not dead just yet. Now gets the life drain and will keep him breaking even versus the Epicenter. Sand King falls into the monkeys, and the Pugna still not dead just yet. Has BKB, isn't even going to need it. It's just going to Decrepify BKB and then just walk out of there. They'll give up the command, but they force out the buyback on the Sand King. They don't get the tier 3 tower, awkwardly enough, for SGE, but still, That buyback on the Sand King, still very much so worth it in the end. I think they can actually just turn around and come back.
They should try and get this tower. It's a pretty big deal. I do think they should try and get a...
I mean, it's just one blast.
I'm pretty sure they will get it. I think it's enough, even if it's back or yeah. But now they can kill shrines. That's pretty important. I think if they want, they have back no cooldown. Exact timer. That's Pop's death timer. So, killing shrines and being able to get Roche is pretty big now. Even though it's getting to the point where Roche doesn't matter much. And doesn't. Clockwork is a great Aegis carrier though, as a position 4 hero. Compared to most, support heroes. There's not a lot of them that are good Aegis carriers, but Clockwork is definitely one of the better ones.
Oh, they're gonna think about going for Roche. Previous times they have been able to get into the Roche pit, been scouted pretty rapidly, and there it is, Flare. And Enigma has 2 black holes right now with the Refresher Orb at the ready. So this is about as dangerous as it gets here for Infamous Young. Still no racks and advantage going either way right now, so it's just going to be up to who shoves first. And they'll drop 1 black hole onto the Timbersaw, and with the damage from this Monkey King, annihilate him. He does have a buyback. Is it worth buying back to contest Roche?
That's a hard choice to make here. He is... I don't know. I think he should.
Enigma's going to refresh.
I mean, I think you dropped Roche actually. I don't think you contested at all. I don't think Roche is that valuable.
Well, they're still thinking about going in. I hope Leposa casts something else. I don't know if his black hole is still alive as his last spell cast. Here comes the Sand King, is spotted, Burrow Strike in, immediately sheeped up. The Drain is there as well. Leposa is going to jump right in for the black hole, is only going to connect onto 1 hero. They're just going to ignore the Viper. Now black hole returned a little bit from Wu, but definitely not enough. Sonic Wave through. They're going to try to take down the Enigma. They're actually doing a lot of damage here. This Queen of Pain is just dishing at full HP. This Monkey King still just sitting in the Roche pit. Now will decide to finish off this Roshan, grab the Aegis, grab the cheese, but his allies have been mostly taken out, except for the Bane off to the side. ADR with the life drain is just battling against Benches and Kill Rats. Will eventually go down. Monkey King, Bardino will both escape. That buyback turning into a 2-for-3 exchange for Infamous Young is going to mean Sand King is down for good for 80 seconds. But SG Esports, I think they could be okay with that.
Yeah, they are. Are they gonna be able to push? I don't think. There's very low push capabilities in this game because both teams have good defense, or the other one doesn't have good push at all from the beginning. But not sure who it would favor. They got the Aegis and Cheese, but I don't think you wanted it on Monkey King really. I think he's the last hero to have it. I mean, you can play around it now, as in having him bait a lot. But you don't really want him to have the Aegis here, I think, because he's mainly the Monkey King ultimate, and then after that he's kinda mediocre. He might as well have the Echo Saber in there and they have carry up on Clockwork or something. The Pugna is not 6-slotted yet either, which is somewhat surprising. He used the buyback here to defend Rax. And he's going for a Dagon, which is okay, I guess. It's not the most insane of items, but Pugna late game doesn't have a lot of great iron shoes, and with the Cripify, it does become a lot.
He does have to watch out for that Echo Shell. That can hurt quite a bit. But yeah, just trying to take down one of these random side heroes. You probably won't get that burst on someone like a Viper. This Timbersaw also fairly bulky, although he is actually going to backpack his hood, so maybe you actually can grab him with that. This Sand King still does not have a buyback. He has backup here in the form of Leo Style. Does Leo Style have a buyback? Yes, he does at least, but there are 3 heroes right around the corner. They're going to patiently wait. Here's the Boundless Strike and the Grip. Enigma's going to teleport into a creep. They get the Sheep Stick. They have the Drain. Sand King's going to throw in a Burrow Strike, but it will actually save Leo Style. They failed to actually right-click him, but they're going to go for the Timbersaw instead. They should be able to get at least one of those. Hookshot in now. Going to catch the Viper and should seal the deal. Sonic Wave from Benjaz is quite nice, but it can't win the fight just by itself. The heals now from ADR. We'll get Theo right back to fit fighting shape. They also have the cheese just in case. And the body blocks actually on the Rubik from Leposa is going to get them another kill. Viper is back. He's going to buy out with the Queen of Pain and the Sand King.
He got Refresher Black Hole now. He used it already, that's good.
Another blink black hole, and at this point, with another BKB, they can just focus down someone like a Viper, knowing that if they take him down once, he'll just be down for good. Sheepstick onto the Pugna, black hole now, onto the Queen of Pain. Right-click damage, focus fire, not really there. The dagger's gonna be thrown in, and the Boundless Strike. Okay, there's some damage. She is the buyback, though. So target selection from SG, not really perfect. Double force stats, everyone's scooting forward. And they go in again. They don't have that big ultimate, not for another 80 seconds. Queen of Pain with that spell life steal doing quite a bit. And the Sand King now priming up another epicenter. Will do a lot of damage here. Bardino and Theo, well, they'll take a lot of damage, but they will get the cheese off. ADR's trying his best to just heal up this Monkey King. Benjaz not doing quite enough damage right now. Lands a huge Boundless Strike. Oh, it's not quite enough damage, though. They don't have another flare. They'll earn Benjaz. I don't think that's going to do enough. Another Scream to just get her a little bit of extra life steal. They're going to jump in towards the Viper instead. A Sand King in the back end is just causing a mess. No, they're going to blink right in. Another Sheepstick onto the Monkey King. Benjaz with the Sheepstick with the Arc Lightning is going to do a lot of life. I'm not really sure if Wu's decision there was a good idea. Another big Boundless Strike onto the Queen of Pain, but again, she slips out. What's the black hole timer looking like? Another 45 seconds. Oh, ADR, though, with this talent of the heal, with the Aghanim Scepter, they'll finally find an opportunity to do some damage to these buildings, but everyone is just going to respawn naturally. I think SGE, they have to back off or at least wait for another black hole.
They're kind of low on mana on people, or rather Pugna, and Enigma aren't really in fighting condition. I think they could have forced the racks, but it seems like both teams are kind of scared to force something heavily. They like to fight, but they don't like to try and get objectives and then fight. And Aegis, I think, I don't know the timer. I guess it's out within like 1.5 minutes, I think.
They probably can't do much with it. Oh, Ags on Enigma. Is it still the Midnight Pulse Enigma?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, right?
Where does it say? It's not in his inventory, but I'm pretty sure they didn't change it. And I'm pretty sure it's your black hole adds a free Midnight Pulse to anyone in...
Yeah, I'm like pretty sure that's the case. Yeah. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not always the greatest, but he's using his back very well. You know, he uses Shadow Blade.
Double damage Monkey King right now. He's gonna get interrupted out of his ultimate cast. Sheepstick is there as well. Laposa just jumps in, kind of blind, drops an ultimate with no BKB.
Oh, he messed up.
He's gonna have another one. No, that's actually Wu's. And now Laposa, he really messed up there. He is still getting a lot of HP back thanks to that Midnight Pulse, and they will take down the Sand King. That's a gem on the deck. Theo is going to get decrepified, healed up as well. That was both black holes. They're going to jump in onto the Viper as well. Theo's going to put up some cogs. They have to dance around these blades, though. Monkey King looking for an opportunity, perhaps on this Quap. Is there any disable? Yes, there is. There's a grip and a drain. And Quap already bought back. She's going to get swatted down by the Monkey King bar. And that's going to be 3 heroes down for none. ADR is very low on mana right now, but he has a Sheepstick and Dagon, so his intelligence, his mana gain is quite high. They're going to slide up towards top lane where the creeps have taken down that tier 2. They're still kind of stuck awkwardly in the enemy base. Sheepstick again can interrupt that monkey circle. Theo is going to get force staffed out. He'll be fine. Here comes the Wukong Command, which should drive back the Timbersaw, though a great personal Yule Scepter will dodge the Boundless Strike. Still takes a lot of damage on his way out. The return of the Saw Blades will do a lot of damage to this Monkey King. They will have to fall back here. ADR doesn't really have enough mana to continue life draining his allies. We keep blasting the tower, but still 1 racks at least. Enigma's timers, what are they looking like? 30 seconds left. He still doesn't even have this Ags. He just is backpacked with it. I think they have to fall back. They need mana.
He messed up last fight though. He didn't use PKB before, but thank God, because Rubik stole the black hole and can't use it, but Boundless Strike one-shot him, so he died halfway through the channeling of it. That's pretty fortunate for them that the Rubik is on the farm that he gets one-shots by a spell from a carry.
Thank you, ADR, for sacrificing your own HP to give Monkey King gas, although... Oh, Boundless Strike again! Just one-shots Wu. Now the black hole onto 2 again. This Viper is going to drop. The Sand King not looking too healthy either in the side. It's the Timbersaw by himself with no more backup, no more buybacks. That's GG. Whew, Enigma. We were both questioning SG's draft, but, man... They met all the requirements that you listed. Like, Enigma has to get very far ahead. He has to do well in lanes. They have to coordinate the team fights properly. They did it all.
They got the late game, and then there's no counter to Enigma. There's one counter, and it happened a few times, but unfortunately, the Monkey King was so fat that he presses one spell, and that counter is gone from the game.
And that last black hole, I think, was Aghanimed. Damn. Aghanim Scepter Enigma seems like seems like something that would be completely broken, but of course it just never really behaves in such a way. So Infamous Young, with no answers to this mass team fight style of SG Esports, this Pugna. I wonder if we could see how much healing, 6,000 healing from the Pugna. I don't know if that's just allies or himself as well, but man, it's a lot of extra HP for the hero. Infamous Young put up a good fight, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough going up against SG Esports. Again, just looking at the remaining heroes, you'd expect SGE to be pushed forward to the finals of this qualifier, but that's going to be happening tomorrow, guys. For right now, we'll be moving into Game 2 between SGE and Infamous Young. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Kefka. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.